Hello, class. Welcome to our reading review on style in arguments. Um, Word choice is very important, and you want to consider connotations of words. Connotation, right, means the emotional associations of words. They could be positive, they could be negative, or they could be both. It's the word in context. Denotation, which starts with the letter D, an easy way to remember that is it's the dictionary definition. Denotation, dictionary definition. Connotation, the word in context. The positive and or negative associations of words. As you're crafting your sentences, moving along here through the reading, um, you want to vary and you want to make sure that you avoid fragments, right? And that your sentences are clear and structured so that the idea is presented logically. And they give you some strategies here on 312 and 313 for structuring your sentences. On pages 314 and 315, they talk about punctuation and argument. Remember, punctuation tells your readers how to read. Um, so essentially, right, commas tell your readers to pause, periods tell your readers to stop, right? And a semicolon goes where a period would go, right? After a complete thought. But it's both. It's a comma and a period. So it's telling your reader, pause a little bit longer than a comma, but don't stop like a period. Remember, if you want to put a comma between two sentences, if you want the reader to pause and you put that comma between two complete thoughts, you have to use one of those 7 coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. But if you want to link two complete thoughts and you say, I don't need one of those 7 words, but you want your reader to pause like a comma in between the two complete thoughts. Remember though, if you don't have one of those 7 words, it's a comma splice. So you can put a semicolon between two complete thoughts when you want the reader to pause like a comma, right? But you don't need one of those 7 coordinating conjunctions. If you get a chance, take a look back at the rules of thumb pages on commas and semicolons, and they clearly explain both of those rules. It's the first comma rule is using a comma between two complete thoughts with a coordinating conjunction, and the first semicolon rule is to use a semicolon between two complete thoughts when you want the reader to pause like a comma, but you don't need one of those 7 terms. Colons on page 316. Again, if you need any thoughts on the colon beyond the reading in the book, refresh with the rules of thumb page on the colon. It's 2 periods. So this is the deal. Remember, period tells your reader to stop. So when you put 2 periods, the colon, on top of each other, it's telling them to stop because what's about to come after that complete thought is something really important. And remember, as rules of thumb tells us, you can either put a list, an example, a quote, or an emphatic idea, an idea you want to emphasize after a colon, but the colon has to come after a complete sentence. So any punctuation mark with a period in it, a semicolon, a colon, or a period, they have to come after a complete thought. Keep that in mind. Um, Dashes. Again, we have the colon on 316. We have the dash on 316. We also have the section in rules of thumb on the dash that we can review if you need more examples, but use the dash to insert information. They function like a colon to add information, uh, but they have a lot of flexibility. Think about it this way. When you want your reader to pause around stuff, you set it off with commas if you're going to insert it in a sentence in the middle. When you want your reader to kind of get excited about something, think of the dash as it takes them right to it. So it's not necessarily pausing before that idea. It's almost like speeding up, right? Um, they add information, but they focus on important, sometimes additional details. So use a dash when you want to emphasize something, right, in the middle or at the end of a sentence. Use commas when you want the reader to pause around something in the middle of a sentence or pause before considering something at the end of the sentence. So hopefully that is helpful when looking at pages 306 to 316. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, you can find more examples of these punctuation marks in Rules of Thumb.